thank you, all of you, for joining us today from around the world. Awa Ango Sawadogo. I'm the Communication and Knowledge Management Manager for the Soil Values Program. And today I'm very delighted to host you here for this webinar, from signature to soil, turning partnership into results. So this webinar is very important for us because after signing the Memorandum of Understanding between the Regional Hub for Fertilizer and the Soil Values Program, it was important to have the opportunity to share why this collaboration is important and why it adds some value to what each organization is already doing on the field. And today we have our distinguished guests, Dr. Alain Sitraore and Mr. Axel Kaja, and also some of our program directors and country coordinators who will be presenting the early results for this collaboration. So thank you so much again for joining us. And I will ask you to make this a very interactive session. Please ask every question you have, put them in the chat, and if you have comments, please leave them also, because we are going to learn more about the Memorandum of Understanding between Soil Values and the Regional Hub. And I'm joined today and as a host by Barbara Mosata, who is the communication lead for the Regional Hub, and she will be taking us through the session and guiding us all along. So get well seated and let's start. Barbara, over to you.
Thank you for that, Awa. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from today. We are happy you've joined us for this session, where we are talking about the marriage between Soil Values Project and the Regional Hub for Fertilizer and Soil Health for West Africa and the Sahel. We got married, or we signed an MOU a few months ago. And for us, we've been working around the clock just to make sure we start implementing the work together in the 4 countries, Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, and Burkina Faso, where we have people working to deliver the work for both the Regional Hub and the Soil Values Program. And we felt it was time for us to come to a place where we share with you an idea and give you a peek at what is possible when the programs work together, an idea of what you can look forward to when the programs start working together. And so today, as Awa has said, we have 4 of our colleagues who are here with us on the line to share some examples and also just take you through the conversation for you to understand fully what you can look forward to in the different countries that we've mentioned. We have Nasuru Diallo, who's going to kickstart the conversation with just sharing the how and the why this MOU was signed between the Hub and Soil Values. Nasuru is the Deputy Program Director for Soil Values, in charge of partnerships and also in charge of private sector engagement. Then we are going to take you through a case study, zooming in on Nigeria. Remember, we've mentioned the 4 countries, Nigeria, Mali, Senegal, and Burkina Faso. And if we were to take you through all these countries, we probably would spend the whole afternoon or morning talking about the possibilities and also what we are implementing in these countries. So we decided to just give you a sneak peek of Nigeria, and you will get to appreciate the work that's being done there already through this case study. And that will be presented by Ms. Medina Fagbemi, who is the country coordinator for Nigeria. Then we'll give you an opportunity to ask questions to both directors of the Soil Values Program, which will be shared by Dr. Alan Trower, and the regional director for the Soil Hub, represented by Lionel Kachka. Then we'll go through Q&As and then finally the closing remarks. As you've been told, please feel free to ask questions. We've opened the Q&A function for you. We've opened the chat function for you. You'll be able to actually participate and engage in this conversation. It's a conversation, two-way. We're not talking to ourselves. We would like you to actually ask. We would like you to comment. Feel free at some point to even raise your hand, and we might be able to unmute you and allow you to ask your question live within this session. And with that, I would like Nasuru to please prepare to share as we move to the first section of this program, which is really the introductive presentation. Nasuru, would you like to take over and share the how and the why? We would like to know the how and the why. Over to you, Nasuru.
Thank you very much, Barbara. I'm ready as soon as you turn off your sharing. Can you see my screen?
Please go ahead. Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you, Hawa. Good day, everyone. And thank you again for joining us today. I am very pleased to speak to you about a topic that is increasingly important for the region in terms of soil health and agriculture in general. My presentation today will give you an overview of the regional hub for fertilizer and soil health in West Africa and the Sahel. Then another overview of the soil values program, and most importantly, how collaboration between the two is helping strengthen soil health systems across West Africa and the Sahel. So let me start with the regional hub. The regional hub for fertilizer and soil health in West Africa and the Sahel was established as a center of excellence in 2024 to provide technical assistance to countries in West Africa and the Sahel. At its core, the hub is a regional technical assistance platform that, of course, helps countries make better decisions on soil health, fertilizer use, and agricultural investments. Why is it that important? Is because today we can notice that many countries are investing heavily in agriculture, but these investments are often constrained by some limitations: limited soil data, fragmented information systems, weak laboratory capacity, and also insufficient coordination across institutions. So the hub was created in response to this challenge, based, of course, on strong demand from national systems. And the hub is hosted by IITA, of course, but operated as a consortium with IFDC, APNI, UM6P, OCP, and ISRIC, bringing, of course, together expertise in soil science, agronomy, digital system, and others. So the hub works in the hub's work is structured into 20 technical functions, which is grouped into three categories. The first one is implemented. These are ongoing activities supported by programs like ICRA and FSRP. So in practice, these functions help answer these questions. What is the condition of our soils? What nutrients are missing? what works where, and where should we invest. So the second group of function is prepared, and it answers the question, what needs scaling? This focus on strengthening systems, laboratory services, institutional capacity, knowledge system, monitoring, and policy support. The last one focus on reflect, meaning future priorities, climate adaptation, carbon sequestration, biofertilizer, and of gender and youth integration. So now let me turn to soil values. This is a 10-year initiative, 2024-2033, with 100 million euros funding from DGIS, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Netherlands, and implemented by the consortium IFDC, SNV, and Wageningen University and Research, with 5 knowledge partners: AGRA, IITA, IWMI, ISRIC, and ICRAF. The program is implemented in 4 countries: Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and northern Nigeria, with strategic coastal countries such as Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. Its core ambition, it's simple but very powerful: to sustainably manage soil fertility while improving food production and strengthening resilience for smallholder farmers in the Sahel, especially women and youth. The program works across 3 main pillars: inclusive market development, building systems, fertilizer and soil health markets, and of course, mobilizing financing for a long-term investment in soil fertility and soil health. The second is enabling environment, supporting policies, institution, and coordination at the regional, national, and local levels. And the third one is agroecological transition, delivering impact on the ground, targeting 1.5 million smallholder farmers and 2 million hectares of land through integrated soil fertility management, ISFM. So if I may simplify, soil values work on the ground, while the regional hub works at system and technical levels. So this naturally brings us to the collaboration. Both initiatives share a common mission: to strengthen soil health and fertilizer system across the region. So they are also aligned with key regional frameworks such as the Lome Declaration and the Nairobi Declaration in 2024. They are also, most importantly, complementary by design. Soil values focus on implementation and field level change, while regional hub focuses on technical assistance, coordination, and system strengthening. So the goal of our partnership is clear: avoid duplication, create synergy, and deliver impact at scale. So in terms of operationalizing the MOU, this collaboration has been formalized through a memorandum of understanding, and it is structured around 3 main levels. The first one is country level cooperation. You have there a joint development of soil information system in the different countries, and also share technical support to national institutions. For instance, at the country cooperation level, soil values country coordinators are also the hub focal points in soil values implementing countries such as Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The second level of cooperation is technical, aligning tools and methodology, joint work on fertilizer recommendation, but also capacity building in key areas like digital soil mapping, data systems, and also land services. And the third level is the outward-looking cooperation. You can just see as an example here, a very clear cooperation on this one is to join forces for a better visibility efforts, such as joint webinars, joint participation in major events, but also joint engagement with donors, shared communication, and joint knowledge products. So to conclude, the regional hub and soil values collaboration represent a shift from fragmented data, isolated interventions, to, of course, more coordinator systems, shared knowledge, and evidence-based decision making. So at the end, this is not only about soils, it's also about improving investments, strengthening institutions, and supporting sustainable food system across West Africa and the Sahel. Thank you very much for your attention, and back to you, Barbara.
Thank you for that insightful presentation, Azuru. And it's interesting already. I'm seeing questions coming through. Please keep this coming. And to the panelists, I would like you to just pay attention to what's being asked, because from the next presentation, we're going to go into a panel discussion and we'll allow the audience to actually even ask questions live. We would like now to move to the next bit of the presentation, which looks at a case study of how we are operationalizing the MOU. And as we mentioned earlier, we are zoning in on Nigeria. Please note that this is just the beginning of a series of webinars that we are planning, where we just want to let you in and you see the work that the Hub is doing together with Soil Values and other partners. So we are very happy you've joined this first one, and we would like you to, even as you ask questions, give us ideas and suggestions of what else you would like us to tell you about, especially in light of the various functions that Nazuri has just shared with you in the previous presentation. The two initiatives, the Hub and Soil Values, are in West Africa and Sahel, responding to the challenge that many countries find themselves in. And this is the challenge that countries face around soil health and fertilizer use. We would like at this moment to ask Ms. Medina Fagbemi to come through and tell us how the Hub and the Soil Values Initiative is actually delivering work to benefit farmers in Nigeria. Fagbemi, are you on? I would like you to actually just take over from me and start sharing. Over to you. Medina?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was muted. Thank you very much, Barbara, and thanks so much for setting the tone. So, just like you've rightly mentioned, I'll be zooming in on what we have been doing together with the hub between Soil Values and the regional hub in terms of joint implementation. So, starting from when we had the uh, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, when we had the technical launch between
Medina? Okay, it seems we've lost Medina. May I ask Nazrul to continue with the presentation, please?
Okay, 1 second.
Apologies for that loss in transmission, everyone. We will continue with Nazrul.
Okay. So Medina was referring to the collaboration between the regional hub and the soil values in the specific case of Nigeria. So one point was the technical launching workshop of the hub that was held in Ibadan, Nigeria, and we also that technical launch really helped us to really understand better the concept of the regional hub at the national level, but also at the whole regional level. But it also helped soil values to really get a grasp of what is the context of how we can collaborate with soil values, with regional hub toward the low roadmap. It also enabled the soil value staff to really get the knowledge partner involved mostly, especially when you look at during my previous presentation, you can see that IITA, IFDC, and ISRIC are all part of soil values and also part of the regional hub as a consortium members. So it helps us to better understand what each institution, which organization will be focusing on in each party between the soil values and the regional hub. And also it's help us to really see how we can leverage from each other. So another thing is that we also participate in the development of work plan. Regional Hub participated in the development of the work plan of soil values in 2024 and 2025. And also in the other direction, soil values also participated in the development of work plan of the regional hub during that time frame.
Thank you very much, Nasser, for that.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much for stepping in. I appreciate that. So just to also add that across the 4 countries, technical committees and focal point person have also been established for the implementation of those work plan. Now I'm zooming in into the technical collaboration between the regional hub and soil values in Nigeria. About 5 major activities have been implemented so far. The first one is the joint development and implementation of a standardized multi-layer soil sampling protocol in soil values intervention area. And we already have some results that has come out of this activity. This activity was led by IIT and ISRIC with partners such as the Soil Values consortium members and the regional fertilizer hub. So we have the soil sampling campaign covering the Komadugu and Yertiti watershed in 2 stages. The first layer covered the entire 2.6 million hectares, while the second layer collected along 2-kilometer transect in 20 communities within the 4 agroecologies in the watershed. A total of 1,648 composite soil samples were successfully collected from this during this activity. The second is developing a digital fertilizer recommendation using nutrient omission trial data. This was led by IIT and the regional hub with support from the Soil Values program. And immediate result is the establishment of 100 nutrient omission trials farm plots, of which 50 of these trial plots are for maize and 50 for rice within the soil values intervention watershed in Kano, Bauchi, and Jigawa state. For these activities, immediate preliminary field assessment indicates that phosphorus alongside nitrogen is one of the major limiting nutrients, with omission plots showing distinct deficiency symptoms and reduce plant vigor. All data sets have been incorporated into the software and are currently undergoing final processing and statistical analysis. So the third is the development of digital soil maps, led by IITA, with support from the Soil Values and Regional Hub. The first version of this is the immediate result is a first version of digital soil maps showing nutrient map and nutrient recommendation for maize and rice, which is currently being developed. And this digital soil map will be integrated into the regional soil hubs and the Nigeria Soil Information System database to support soil health assessment, spatial decision making, and evidence-based soil fertility management recommendation across the project areas. The fourth is the mapping of soil degradation hotspots, where this was led by Soil Values Program with support from IIT and the Regional Hub and CDA. And for this activity, we have immediate results that shows guided and review study on mapping soil degradation hotspot for location-based restoration intervention in Yertiti and Komodugu watersheds. The last is the bundle box pilot, which is also led by by Soil Values with support from the Regional Hub, where we have developed a concept note on the bundle box pilot for the implementation of the bundled and integrated agricultural services packages. Discussions are currently ongoing on implementation approach. However, we've been able to, for now, we've been able to identify which watershed where the bundle box will be implemented. We're also discussing on the selection of farmer organization, prioritization of hello. Okay. Selection of farmer organizations, identification of priority crops, and the local implementing partners who will implement the activity. We're also identifying the agro input dealers, financial institutions whose operations are already in the area and already working with this organization. Discussions are also underway on how to link with these financial institutions and agro input dealers to determine the financial mechanism. Then co-creation of the bundle box and planning of the implementation phase. So these are the key points that are currently ongoing, and discussions are being made on how to implement the bundle box pilot as part of the bundling activity under the regional hub. So these are the key activities that are being implemented and key achievement in terms of result from these activities in Nigeria. Thank you very much, and that will be all for listening.
Thank you, Dina, for sharing a case study of the work that's taking place, that's currently being implemented in Nigeria. We appreciate the insight you are sharing. I'm excited by the questions that are coming through, and would like to say that we now are at a point where we want to answer questions that you may have picked up in the various presentations that have been shared. And at this moment, I would like to ask Lionel, I would like to ask Alain, Nazuru to please be on standby. May you all please switch on your cameras so that people can see you as you respond to the different questions. I'll just briefly go through some of the comments and questions to prepare you for what's coming. Nazuru, a compliment from Robert Zugmore, where he's saying he appreciates the clear and insightful presentation you've shared between Soil Values and the Hub in terms of the work that the two projects are doing together There are questions about if we are willing to expand to other countries. So to our panelists and presenters, just prepare yourselves as I will be assigning some of these questions to you so you can respond to the audiences online. And I see a question that's coming through saying we would also like to participate in this collaboration. So again, just prepare yourselves, team, to answer the questions. To start off the panel conversation, I would like to just maybe pose this question to Alain and to what's his name, Lionel? We are being asked, are we willing to open this up to other countries? Because we are talking 4 countries only. I don't blame the audience. If I was them as well, I would want to be a part of this, right? So what is the answer to that question? Is there any plan at all to open this up to other countries other than the 4 and the coastal countries that were mentioned?
Thank you, Barbara. Thanks for inviting us. Good morning to all. This is a very good and pretty questions. It's not the first time we are getting the questions. So it's mean that people are interested on the soil health issues in all the countries. First of all, of course, as Nasuru said, this program is a direct response from the GGIS to the regional economic community request to support Lome Declaration that was signed in 2023 and extended to Nairobi Declaration. That's first answer. So obviously, we have ultimate objective to cover the maximum of country that we will be able to do. Second, the GGIS funding, 100 million euros, seem to be a lot of money, but it's, if you divide it to the countries, is significant money, but it's not enough to cover all the needs regarding to the soil health issues. So the 100 million euro contracted by GGIS aim is coming as a leverage fund to enable us to mobilize additional 300 million euro funding, both from private sector, from government, public services, entities, and also other donors agencies. If we get that, that will enable us to go beyond the field countries, as we call them, but as Nasuru showed in his PowerPoint, 2 other countries are coming gradually, Ghana and Senegal. And currently, we are entertaining some mission engagements with Togo, with Ghana, with Cote d'Ivoire, and Senegal very soon to embark them into the program, expecting that we prove also the concept of our intervention in the northern of Nigeria, in Burkina Faso, Mali, and of course, Niger. So this answer to your questions. And for other aspects, of course, the Deputy Director of Private Sector Engagement may come up later. But this is politically what we are doing. We are not limiting our intervention. But the first 2-3 years, we need to focus on those countries because the Sahelian countries are the more affected in terms of climate shock. All countries are equally affected, but those countries are more affected. They have more degraded land because of the success, the repetition of recurrent climate shock over the years since 1975. So we are focusing our intervention, and the success stories that we will be getting there can be easily replicated to other countries. Let me pause here. Thank you.
Thank you for that response, Alain. And I'm sure as we get more resources, I'm sure as the work that we are doing gets more visibility, we will see other partners coming on board and helping us to get this work done. It's not the work of 1 or 2 entities, but the work of many entities coming together, as you've seen on our last slide, where there's quite a few, more than 10 people coming together to get this work done. There's a question from Paul to the last speaker. Paul, if you don't mind, I would like to actually unmute you, and so that to allow you to ask your question direct. Is that okay, Paul? I have given you permission to speak. So please ask the last speaker your question directly, Paul.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. It was a question to the last speaker who made a clear connection to the bundling efforts. Myself, I'm working at Wageningen University, so in the knowledge part of the soil values program. We are trying to reach out to basically teams in all the 4 countries who are working on bundling to align our efforts. So far, we haven't established clear connections with Nigeria. So the question is basically, are you open to connect with us about this, align our efforts? And if so, with whom should we establish the contacts?
I think I'll allow the program director to respond to this. Yeah. Alan?
Medina, don't be humble. You are the national coordinator. But I will start, you will complete. No. Paul, your question is pretty interesting. The program covered the four countries, 5 countries for the moment. The PhD program also covered the 4 countries. And we are looking and expecting any kind of collaboration and connection on the bundle box approach that we have been developing, and is almost more than welcome. Recently, we were in the Netherlands for our supervisory board meeting, and we have the privilege to go to visit Wageningen University, and we are looking for a more cooperative and collaborative program in terms of master degree and PhD degree, and this is really welcome. So the program is made for 10 years, and that is one of the beautiful part of the program. It's not 2 or 3 years small project and then you forgot everything. It's a continuous, sustainable investment in the program. So thank you. Over, Medina, you may add.
All right, thank you very much, Alan. Yeah, so just like Alan has rightly said, this is also a pilot, and we are piloting this in Nigeria. I think the 4 countries, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali. And like Alan has rightly mentioned, we are really open to partnership to support how we implement this activity across the 4 countries. Thank you very much, Paul.
If I may add something on this one, I wanted just to say to Paul that during our visit to Wageningen, I specifically made sure that I got the contact of all the PhDs that want to get connected to the different countries. And for specifically the bundle box, Fadila, I believe, she will be connected to Nigeria, but also to the Inclusive Market Impact Pathway team, so she can have more insight of what is going on in the different countries. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Nazru. Many questions coming through. I've given Bernard permission to speak because I see he has typed in a question. Bernard, please go ahead and speak. Before you do that, I would like to ask the person who is ... We would love to know who you are. Please change your name. You've raised your hand, and I would like to address you by name when I give you permission to actually speak. So please help us and rename yourself from the dots to somebody we can identify. Over to you, Bernard.
Thanks, Barbara. I assume I can be heard.
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, very good. So yeah, thanks. And yeah, I'm personally very happy to see this activity taking place. You know, soil values and the regional hub, as was said, we married a few months ago. And I think now it's about, you know, putting that marriage into practice, basically. I think we signed how is it called, Barbara, the document you sign when you marry? I think we've done that. Yeah, now we need to, you know, make sure that there's the results and so on. But my question was really, we heard about some results. Of course, time is not much to go into too much detail, but we heard about some results. So what are the plans of the hub and soil values to make sure that the goal, the reason for being, is respected, which means how do the countries in the Sahel and beyond know about the products we've been developing, the solutions we've been working on, and what are we doing to ensure that this is, integrated, inserted into the national plans, into the decision-making processes, and so on, that ultimately the nations in West Africa and the Sahel are in charge of, isn't it? What are the plans, the actions, the activities to facilitate that? Yeah, over to you, Barbara.
This question, I believe, is for the three gentlemen, Nasuru, Lionel, Alain. Would you like to?
Yeah, I can come in. I think I can come in, Barbara. I think there are several illustrations how this partnership could work, could be seen, very well impacting national system in countries. The first layer I could think of is the national teams with whom we interact, with whom we work in countries. So we call them at the hub the national technical team. They are a good interface between the regional hub and the government and the private sector in countries. So you have the same team actually in soil values countries. So definitely the collaboration that we are talking about needs to be grounded at this level. The technical meetings, joint technical meetings, sharing of methodologies, and going together. Most importantly, going together to advise the government on its policy, future investments, issues that government is facing. If we do well our work, we should be a notarized voice that governments of these Sahelian countries and Nigeria listen to. But we should go there together. So it starts by fostering synergy among our teams. So true, we have this first engagement at the high level. We are having this outward-facing activity, but the technical work concretely, joining technical forces now needs to happen, and we need to look at what are really the problem facing the countries to look at that together and address these problems together, so that our voice is heard and we are understood as a joint force supporting these countries. That's what I can say for the first layer approach.
Bernard, thanks for the question. I think the question is very provocative. Bernard knows exactly what we're doing together. But the first things that Lionel said, that this is why the MOU, we are part of the decision-making process of the soil, the regional hub, and we ensure that the regional hub is also part of our decision-making process, so that we match, we communicate to each other, we facilitate the joint activities in the ground. That's the first thing. The second thing, since Barbara and my colleague led is the lead of communication and knowledge management, we have a whole plan of translating or sharing information to the audiences, the students, the farmers, to the researchers at the universities, the decision makers. The work that will be done in this regional hub, and also the package works that will be done at the soil values level and other countries. We will be using certainly webinar series to share the information. That's a good way to do that. We will also package some technical information and ensure that it's getting the level where it should be. And we have also agreed that major event in the world and at the national level, particularly within the region, not out of the region, but within the region and in-country level, we will ensure that the hub and the soil values program will be presenting concrete success stories, fact sheet, bundle boxes, model, anything that are really impacting the yields in the fields, and anything suitable to help farmers to recover their land quickly, like designer technologies, the bundle box, the biochar, other technologies that we have. And additionally, if you look at the members, the founding members of the regional hub, you have technical parts, but we have forgotten to mention one. We also have the regional economic communities such as ECOWAS. So we will push this making aspect to help them with concrete regulatory framework so that will accelerate the issues of organic fertilizer, for example, while we are facing the middle crisis currently that have negative impact on fertilizer price, chemical fertilizer price. We should also push sustainable fertilizer system within our region. And the technical members like ISRI, like UM6P, University Mohammed VI Polytechnic, GPI, APNI, IFDC, all these are pretty good international organizations and IITA. So we believe that they have knowledge. So those knowledge should be packaged within the hub, and we use it as a soil value to make it practicable, accessible to the farmers on ground. So Bernard, this is what I can tell you. And at the end of the day, we really want to bring the soil health issues at the top of the agenda of the policy makers within our country. Once this is done, they will be taking it to the level where we will not be even able to follow them, to give all the necessary technical assistance that they may require. This is what I can say.
Thank you for that, Alain. I am smiling because I just came across a question that makes Bernard by default a panelist, as this question must be answered by Alain and Bernard. And the question is from Robert Zugmore. He says, can you clarify how different will be the synergy between the Soil Hub and the Soils Values Program as compared to the expected synergy between the Soil Hub and FSRP? So with that, I would like Alain and Bernard to just help us with the response to that question, please. I'll start with Bernard.
Can you, just for my clear understanding, just repeat the question one more time, Barbara?
The question says, can you clarify how different will be the synergy between the Soil Hub and the Soil Values Program as compared to the expected synergy between the Soil Hub and FSRP? FSRP is the new project that the Hub is collaborating with the Sierra Leone government on. So Robert is asking how different will be the synergy between the Soil Hub and the Soil Values Program as compared to the expected synergy between the Soil Hub and FSRP.
Yeah, I will need my colleague and brother Alain to add value to what I'm going to say. After the summit that took place in Nairobi in 2024, there was a lot of interest and promotion on soil health related issues in the region. And of course, the Lomé summit was expected to take place after the summit, although it took place before. So as a result, independent programs were initiated, anticipating that summit in Nairobi. And the two initiatives, Soil Values and Regional Hub, are two independently set up investments in support of the action plan. So the first sort of answer, and Alain will support me or not, it's really good to see that we are talking to each other and see where we can support each other based on our internal capacities, objectives, and expertise areas. We could also not have done this, and that would have created potential confusion at the country level, because our demand partners are the countries and the people working on fertilizer and soil health in the countries. Now, the synergy between the hub and FSRP is a third party in that complex ecosystem. We have the soil hub, we have soil values, and we have the FSRP program. And as we know, FSRP and the hub are both supported by the World Bank. So obviously, again, FSRP has quite a number of a little bit of emphasis on soil health. So again, that provides another opportunity. Now, the nature of FSRP and the hub is very different. The FSRP program is to directly invest in national plans, including in fertilizer and soil health, while the regional hub is providing technical assistance to those particular investments in fertilizer and soil. And the recent agreement we have with FSRP Sierra Leone is a very good example of that. So they are different partnerships. They have a different reason of being, but the fact that all of us are talking, engaging, and trying to absolutely avoid duplication, because we don't have time and money for duplication, I think is excellent. And I'm very positive that the answer to the question that Robert has asked will be illustrated with very specific examples very soon. Not theory, but practice. Alain, do you want to add?
No, Bernard, you said everything, all well said, and I know Zumuri is also well aware about it. In terms of step, let's be very clear. The FSP, the Food System Resilience Program, was designed before the crisis that happened in the Ukraine civil war. Remember, and then we suddenly discovered that there was a missing link between the FSCP, they call it PRSA en français for the French-speaking countries. And each country will now pull into the FSCP program with huge and massive investment to support the government in terms of food system, resilience of the food system in the country. And each country selected the areas of investment, and we discovered quickly that soil health initiative pieces were missed up. So we now decided to develop a new way to target the soil health initiative. And this is why it is very, very complementary. It is also why in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, Soil Value has signed agreement MOU with all the PRSA, FSAP in each of the country. And they are working hand to hand so that they will not be duplicating effort. So we bring the hard value of the soil issues, and then FSCP also bring funding and a lot of political involvement to help us to move. This is very important. You do not have FSCP per name in Nigeria, but it is called ACRISAL in Nigeria, and another project called LPRESS that are all connected to the soil issue and the food resilient system connection. That is why we are all connected and working together. And this is a fantastic way to do, because funds are not enough. Capacity are hopefully there. I believe that IITA, APNI, ISRIC, in the sector IFDC, they are all highly potential technical profile system. The only way to do now is to come together and deliver and offer to the countries those technical support so that country can make some step ahead. Instead of seeing people coming, everybody will be doing his own garden or his own field in the corner. Soil value is not on that in that approach. We partner with existing program, we complement or we add, and they also help us to move. So I hope this can give the pretty answer to Zumore, but we are open again to streamline those collaboration with the countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alain. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Lionel. Thank you, Nazru and Dina. There are more questions and suggestions in the chat box, and I wish we had more time to respond to each and every one of them. But my recommendation to all of us is that clearly there is lots of engagement. There's a lot we want to talk about in the soil space, in the soil health space. And we need to just look at what has been shared and come up with even more activities that can answer specific categories of questions that are coming through. I see my anonymous person is raising their hand. I've given you permission to speak just for a minute before we tackle your question and then allow Lionel to close the session. you've got permission to speak. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Madam. I'm Anani Ogu. I'm a PhD researcher in soil science and climate smart agriculture. So my questions, I have two questions on hand, going directly to Mr. Alain, Dr. Alain, sorry. What I wanted to know is how the soil value programs can really reach the farmers on the ground. I wanted to know whether this program consider the climate smart villages, for instance, because following you, we were talking about soil technologies, practices, innovations, also including climate change and so on. I wanted to know if there is any kind of synergy that this program is going to make with, for instance, task force program of CORA, the TGA, like Alliance of Biodiversity International Research, in order to, for instance, to target or to go through the climate smart villages text in Burkina Faso, in Niger, for instance, where I very well know that there are climate smart villages text by the CIAT or CIFSH program of the CGI, how your program is going to leverage or to scale up climate smart technology that's enhance soil health through this climate smart village. Is it possible to maybe develop a kind of synergy of action with that program like you have with ACRA or FSP? Thank you so much. The second question that I raise on is about the business model. How do we ensure that you develop like a kind of business model, including or linking soil health and climate smart agriculture? Thank you so much.
Thank you for that question, Alain. We actually have come to the end of the session. I've put Alain and Lionel's email addresses in the chat function. Please reach out to them. Reach out, and we also have your email addresses because you registered for the event. We are going to look at each question that's been shared, and we will, as part of sharing the slides with everybody, also respond to the questions that have been shared. As I've said, this is just showing us that there is need for us to talk more with all our stakeholders, and we appreciate all of you. Over 100 people joined today. We will come back to you with more dates, more activities. Please feel free to reach out as well. We've shared our email addresses. And at this point, really, I would love for our director of the hub, Lionel, to just give us one last thought. Lionel, taking into consideration it's 3:01. We want you to be done by at least 3:03 so that you can let everybody go, and we respect people's time. But we definitely have had all the questions. I wish we had more time. Over to you, Lionel.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. So I can only wish at the end of this first outward-facing engagement, this webinar, a very successful marriage to us. In front of the current crisis that the world is facing economically, politically, I think we have to show good examples of unity, coming together, joining forces together to combat issue facing our population. So we are truly convinced that if this model of cooperation, this marriage works in these 4 countries, it could be a very good example to emulate in other geographies of West Africa. We are a big region for close to 500 million people. We need to consider soil issues as a societal issue. It's a human issue. So if we don't fix it, will be in very grave problems in the future. So I guess this is a very good opportunity to start looking at a brighter future together by addressing food system issues facing these four countries, and hopefully in the end the West African region as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Lionel. Thank you, everybody. I have seen quite a few of our partners. We work with you on the ground. Thank you for joining. And we appreciate you for the engagement. Let's continue engaging through various platforms. And yes, Mrs. Eui, thank you for the feedback. Thank you, everyone. I would like to ask anybody whose hand is raised to just type in your questions, comment. I'm going to leave this session on for the next 5 minutes just to allow you to type in your questions, because I know your hands were raised. You wanted to say something, but we have run out of time. And I would also like to the presenters to just stay behind, switch on your cameras so that we can just do a bit of admin. And
Barbara, before that,
yes.
I would like to also tell people that this is not the last one, just insisting on that. There will be more coming, and you heard about the bundle box. There will be a session on the 11th of June. So you will be having a lot of discussions and more information for you. So thank you. Thank you again.